This hangout is live on air. Okay. Good evening, everybody. We're trying something new tonight. We've got about 2 minutes before we go on air. Danielle is calling in live from Minnesota.
Hello.
And hopefully this thing will switch back and forth automatically as we talk.
That's the plan.
Except you're not talking a great deal.
I don't have to when you're around.
Whoa. I'm counting on you to carry half of this show because I got nothing.
Oh, I gotcha.
But I do believe, like I said, I believe CES is next week, which is why everything's been so awfully slow this week.
So slow.
CES 2015. Well, I guess it will be 2016 now. CES 2016. Fucking hell, when is it? I know it's the first week of January. CS 2016, CNET, boom. That didn't tell me dick. Oh, God, Yahoo sucks.
It really does. Why are you on Yahoo?
It's what Scott has set as the default. CS 2016 dates. Here we go. January 6th through the 9th. So, yeah, I guess it kicks off next week. All right, we got like 15 seconds. Actually, less than that. This is us. A little bit late. All right, here we go. Well, hello. It's Tuesday. It is 7-ish. And this is Tech Talk. I'm Alex Xandermac, and I have Danielle with me. Hi, Dani.
Hi.
Now, we're trying something new tonight. We are, Danielle has called in through Google Hangouts. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see the both of us effectively. Me in the studio, Danielle in her little cave up in Minnesota with her cat ear headphones on.
Yes.
So the first few minutes, the first little part of this show might be some technical working out. I've got hopefully Jacob is going to give me some feedback about levels and make sure that you can hear me and Danielle. So that's that. That's the technical part of it. Dani, how are you?
I am well. A little chilly. It's a little chilly here.
Why, what's it doing up there?
It was snowing earlier. It was 16 degrees this morning. I decided then I was not going out today, so I haven't cared since. So, yeah, it's cold and snowy. Much like winter time in Minnesota.
Oh, well, what you going to do?
Yeah, you know.
It was quite nice here today.
Yeah?
I did the morning show. I came in and crashed the morning show this morning. I walk in and Scott thinks it's Big Mike coming through the door. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, I figured I'm on vacation this week. I figure I'll come in and crash your show." He said, "Oh, yeah, we were just talking about you." Yeah, so set in on that. I'm going to sit in on it tomorrow as well because Stephanie, I think, is a bit under the weather and she wants to take off. And Jacob said the levels are good. Thank you, Jacob. She wants to, I think, take the day off or something tomorrow. So I'm going to sit in tomorrow morning. And I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So we had Christmas, Dani.
Yes.
And it was Christmassy. And
it was, yes, Christmassy.
It was very Christmassy. I came up to Cumming, saw you and your mom a couple of times. You came obviously into the studio a couple of times.
Yep.
And while I was there, you were driving this god-awful little Satan mobile.
No, it's not true. You were driving it.
Well, that's true. I did kind of take control of the Satan Mobile. It was a
Totally took over.
little Toyota Prius. It was the most god awful thing I've ever driven. How can I explain this? For anyone that's never driven a Prius,
Or Prius.
however you say it, it's the same car. It's the
It
same.
is.
It was the handling was loose but vague. The power was
Suggestive. It was suggestive of power, but not really present.
something like that. Had a lot of buttons which I was pressing that did a lot of things on the dashboard. Many displays of lack of power.
Right. Didn't seem to change the power or the output or the performance of the vehicle at all.
Yeah. Had a backup camera that was of absolutely no use because it has no guidelines.
It's true.
So you had no idea. I think at the very bottom you could see the bumper of the car. But for all I know, that was dirt. I don't know. And it doesn't have a parking brake. It has a parking brake button. So of course I got up to 70, pressed the button to see what would happen.
And it said, "Don't push that while you're driving."
Well, it dropped it into neutral and then said,
True. Yeah.
pull over and park. So that was ridiculous. I was hoping for some, I don't know, handbrake action or something. Nope, none of that. So no handbrake turns in the Prius. It was honestly a pretty awful little car. And it got what, 50, I think it was averaging 55 miles to the gallon. And I average 45 miles to the gallon in my Ford.
Right.
Which is honestly a way better car. So I don't know. I didn't like it. Do not buy a Prius. Anybody, if you're looking for a new car, don't get one of those. It's really awful. Christmas. What'd you get for Christmas, Dan? Anything fun?
I did. Hang on. Wait. I have to.
You're gonna go grab it.
Wait.
Okay. I'm waiting.
Can you see it?
It's a lantern.
No.
The hell is it?
This is a Detroit Red Wings goal light. So when the Red Wings score anywhere, wherever they're playing, this is going to be really loud. This happens. So you could be in the house, like having dinner, have the, family over, whatever, be napping. Red Wings score, light goes off.
That is brilliant.
Freaking awesome.
Right,
Best present ever. It's awesome.
How does it know?
It's magic. What do you mean, how does it know? Duh.
Why?
Red Wings magic.
Why do I have music playing? Damn it, Neil Diamond. Sorry, my phone started playing music there for some reason. How does it know? How does it hook up? Is it like over Wi-Fi or something?
Yes.
And
it is over the house Wi-Fi.
Well, can you explain it any better? Does it like just link up to the Red Wings?
Yeah. I don't know. That's it. That's all I know.
That's all you know.
There's a button on the bottom.
It says
where you could turn it off, but why would you? Really? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because then you wouldn't know if they'd scored.
Precisely. So I can hook it up to the hotspot on my phone and take it in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they score when I'm out and about, it'll go off, and alarms and lights and extreme awesomeness. Pretty stoked.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I was very excited by that one.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Yeah. Oh, got the jacket. You saw we talked about the jacket.
We didn't talk.
Oh, I got a leather jacket. I got Amazon gift cards.
A lovely studded leather jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely. It is actually a beautiful jacket.
Yeah.
What else did I get? I got a Red Wings jersey.
Okay.
Got some Hello Kitty fuzzy pants. I got a subscription from my sister and her family to some like office knickknacks that they will send in the mail once a month. Pens and paper and office gadgety stuff.
That's
Pretty
cool.
stoked about that. Yeah.
All right.
Um, what else? Other stuff I'm sure I can't think of right now. Some Starbucks gift cards. That was pretty cool.
It's always nice. I
Yeah.
obviously got that USB charging block from you and the
You
cable,
got that? Yeah.
which I love. But I still have the pink cable. Forgot to give it to you and get the orange one in return.
Yeah, you did. So I traded the orange one to my mom for green.
I'm not very happy now.
You had your chance. You blew
I
it.
did. I blew it. Sorry. I also got a. Well, I'll go over all the stuff I bought for myself in a minute. But I got that from you, and then from Jenny's sister Suzanne, I got a little tiny little quadcopter, little drone, which is
Oh,
it's really small and it's really difficult to fly, but it has a button that when you press it, it does like a 360 loop in the air. So it makes, even though my piloting of this thing is terrible, makes it look
yeah.
kind of flashy because I just press one button and it does a flip,
Nice.
which is brilliant. Makes me look expert, even though I
Yeah.
absolutely suck at it.
Yeah. So you just got to like get it up to height and then flip it.
Yeah, and then flip it, and then when it crashes, it doesn't matter because I've already, I
You
already
flipped it.
champion. Yeah, it's like freaking
Hmm.
Douglas Bader up there. Woo! Anybody who knows who Douglas Bader is, send me a text message because nobody will know that. Um. All right. So, bit of technology. While I was up there, Kurt came down as well to meet up with you, and he had just bought a Microsoft Surface Pro 4 tablet, which it's a tablet PC. It's a tablet that is also a full featured Windows 10 PC. And I played with this for a little bit. He had the tablet with the pen and an add-on keyboard which attaches to it magnetically and closes, and it works then, I guess, I don't know, like any tablet with a keyboard. But it was brilliant. I loved it. The thing was amazing. Full Windows 10 PC, and Windows 10 is much more optimized for tablets now for the touch screen. And the multi-touch on these things is amazing. It supports up to 10 points of contact, so you can use all 10 fingers. And if let's say you're manipulating a photo, you can zoom in with one hand and twist with the other. And it's like what was that movie with Tom Cruise where they had the future crimes unit and they had this virtual screen up in the air and they were manipulating with their hands and things? Whatever that movie was, it's like that, but slightly different. It was kind of cool. And from what I understand, he got a really good deal on it. I thought they were a lot more expensive than the deal he got. It was quick. The only thing I would have liked to have done is loaded up a game and just to see how it handles a game like Call of Duty or something like that. Because I don't know, it was a neat little device. Did he buy you one yet?
I no.
Huh.
I was
Is
gonna say something sassy about that one being mine, but it's really not.
Yeah, but it will be in like 2 weeks.
I know he'll get bored with it and then
Yeah.
it'll be mine.
Okay. Well, as soon as it's yours, let's load a game up and see how it does.
I can load a game up right now. I can get what we need to do is get him to load a game on it because I'm useless with games.
All right.
But
Well, if he gets around to it, if he could load a game, and maybe stream that game up to YouTube so we can see how well the gameplay does at different resolutions. Be interesting to see, because the reason I would buy one obviously is to have a portable Windows machine, but also be able to game and go online,
right,
because the new Rogue Spear Rainbow Six Siege came out, and I've really been tempted to get it. And if I do get it, I want to get it on a PC, not on a console. I don't want a console.
right.
So that's
Yeah,
that.
there's some kind of I'm gonna make myself look like a complete idiot. Um, some kind of program that they use to stream when they're gaming,
Mhm.
like to stream their gaming and put it on the YouTubes. I'm sure one of your geeky listeners probably knows what it is.
It may be Steam.
No.
Possible it was Steam, and Steam was having problems over the Christmas holiday. Apparently, they got hacked, and
Oh,
yeah, let me find this story. They got hacked, and everybody.
Twitch. It's Twitch.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah.
gotcha. Now,
Anyway.
oh, I've heard of Twitch. I wondered what it was. I thought it was like Twitter. Guess not. Um, well, I should have the story linked here, and I don't. But yeah. Oh, sorry, it was Valve, which might be Steam. Let me open this up. But it was so Valve's gaming platform is experiencing it is Steam, Valve's Steam platform. So what
Mhm.
happened? They got hacked, and now when players log into their accounts, they are able to see someone else's information, including their email, their address, their credit card details, their previous purchases. And it says what makes this breach even more critical is that Steam was in the middle of its winter sale, which tends to attract a large number of PC gamers to the website. So it's quite possible a whole bunch of new users signed up, logged in, entered all their credit card information, and shared it with the entire world.
Oh my
How
gosh.
bad is that?
That's super bad.
Now they're claiming that the issue was resolved. Um, But once the information's out there, that's it. If you have a Steam account, you may want to think about changing your credit card number because that's kind of bad.
That's bad. Yeah, that's super bad.
All right, here's a story because I got a mini drone. I don't think this story will affect my tiny little palm-sized drone, but who knows? This is from the Telegraph in the UK, and it's saying home insurers are rushing to exclude drones as Christmas sees a popularity soar. Um, so I I don't know if this is because of the fire hazard of them or just the value of the drones. But it's saying they're looking to exclude them. What is that me or you?
That was me. Sorry.
Okay. They're looking to exclude them as underwriters refuse to risk footing the bill of potentially huge legal bills arising from the gadgets. So I guess what they're concerned about is, say, your drone crashing into your neighbor's house, or
Yep.
somebody using their drone to spy on, say, the neighbor's kids in their bedroom or something. So they're moving to get them excluded. Apparently, they will add them as a rider to your policy for I guess, just for the value of the drone, but they will exclude any other liability that goes along with that. These drones, man, they're becoming a hot button issue.
Yeah. Did you let me see if I can find the story. Did you hear or read about the one that um almost crashed into the downhill skier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw.
Swallow?
Did you see the video?
No.
Oh, it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, yes I did. Yeah, I did.
Why?
That's not me.
No, I keep having music turn on. Let's get rid of that.
Some Somebody probably hacked you and took over your phone.
Apparently, that's annoying. Yeah, music on my phone keeps turning on, so I just unplugged it. That won't happen again. Yeah, I watched the video. It's this guy just, doing his downhill slalom, and right behind him, like 5 feet behind him, this big old drone just crashes out of the sky. I mean,
Yeah,
half a second earlier, and it would have been on top of him. It was crazy,
that's
and
bad business right there.
it was one of these big professional media type ones as well, with a big old camera on the bottom, that kind of thing. They were using it, I think, to film the skiers from above.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that was pretty freaky. Listen, we have a break coming up. We'll go to break and we'll try to think about something to talk about.
Okay.
Back in a minute. All right. Is there a delay?
Uh Maybe keep talking.
I don't. Is there? I don't know if you're hearing a delay or not because there seems to be a pause between me saying something and you responding.
I don't know. I think that I'm hearing it as you're saying it because your lips seem to match. But
Okay.
I don't know if there's a delay with it switching over once I start talking. You know what I mean? Before it switches the audio from you to me.
Mm. There's definitely a delay with that for sure. Because I think Google is doing the work in the background, figuring out who's talking, then it jumps to your camera.
Right.
But that what shouldn't prevent you from jumping in and talking, obviously.
Well, I'm trying not to like make, kind of comments in the middle of what you're saying because then it's just going to jump back and forth.
I don't
You know what
care.
I mean?
This
While
is
you're talking.
this is like a test. It can do that.
It is a test.
All right. So, uh, no more Cult 1911s in California. Oh, I want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the California gun list.
Okay.
I hear a cat meowing.
I don't have a cat.
I don't know what that is. Pardon me. I'm getting a million messages. I'm getting a million messages on. Okay. All right. So Jacob says we sound good on YouTube and we sound good on the app.
Awesome. Thanks, Jacob.
Steven, I don't know if Steven's listening or watching, but he was asking if I had a show tonight, and I said yes, I do. Steven, if you are going to call in on my personal cell phone number. Don't use the studio number. Use my cell phone number because I have that hooked up and working with the studio mics. So the audio quality will be better. If, if he's listening. I suppose I could send him a message. To use the studio mic. Okay. How is it being home? Good? You happy?
Yeah. Yeah, I did nothing yesterday but sleep. I kind of OD'd on Dramamine. So I literally, well, not literally, I figuratively slept all day long and then slept all night until like 8:30 this morning. Um, so then, yeah, today I'm just kind of trying to get back in the swing of things. But yeah, it is good to be home.
Okay.
The dogs are super excited that we're here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, hang on, you want to see?
Yeah, go on.
Here's them being excited. Wait, I have to unplug my power cord. Can you see how excited they are?
Look, I saw a little bit of a dog. Hold on, I need to stop talking.
Here, wait, let me back up. Oh, yeah, I guess I need to talk. Oh, shit, I just dropped my tablet. Now they're very excited. That's an excited dog right there. Look at him. That's
Okay.
like that's how they work all day long. They're up underneath my desk where my feet would go if there weren't dogs there. That's Daisy. Being excited.
All
Oh,
right.
they turned around. They like actually just got up and rotated like half a rotation.
Hello,
So,
dogs. I'm gonna run over and grab a Guinness.
all right.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Did you grab a Guinness?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Did you hear that?
What?
See, I'm wondering if voice controls. I'm wondering if Siri is hearing my voice and starting music playing. It's just randomly starting, and it's never done that before.
Pushy bitch.
That's so weird. All All right, I'm gonna go grab a beer.
Okay.
All right, so we're off to a slow start today.
We are dragging a bit.
All right, well, let's kick this into high gear.
I'm looking for stuff to talk about.
Now, let's be funny.
Okay. You want to? You want to?
Yeah. All right, let me pour me a Guinness. This will definitely help.
All right. Well, hang on. Let me go grab a beer too. That'll funny me up.
All right, go on then.
Oh, you know what? I can take you with. We're on Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Come on, let's go downstairs.
Okay.
We'll take the dogs with. They'll go all crazy. I know. Come on. They're letting the burglars know we're coming. I'm like creeping through my own house. Let me see. Can I turn my camera around? No, that's just a big ass me. I was going to show you my sister sends Kurt, well, my sister and her family send Kurt these things for gift giving occasions. They're called man crates.
Huh?
Can you see it? And it's like full of manly stuff. Like this one's full of beef jerky, like different kinds of alcohol infused beef jerky. Like we had some kind of, oh, here we go. This is wine country jerky. And there's, what is this? A honey almond IPA bar. I know there's probably a way to turn my camera around, but I don't know how. So there's all kinds of, this is what we ate earlier. IPA beef jerky.
It sounds awful.
But it's like, no, it was actually, well, I mean, for jerky, it was actually pretty good. But it's like this whole box of hand-selected alcohol-infused dried meat. You know, it's a cute idea for like the what the hell do you get for him kind of person. And look, best part, it comes with this little crowbar.
For what?
It's like for real crate, because it's a crate. You have to pry it open.
Uh-huh.
Right.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I hear your phone.
Sorry, I gotta find a bottle opener. All right.
What kind of tasty beer you gonna enjoy?
Another one of those Sinful Apple Angry Orchards.
Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah. Where's my camera? There we go. Gotta find me a koozie. Because it's not cold enough here, we gotta koozie our beers. Oh, there it is. Look, my koozie has boobies. Let's see, where is it?
Oh, God.
You know it's awesome.
It's one of those breast cancer things, right?
It is.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's a good cause and everything, right?
Yes.
I say that like I don't know. Of course, it's a good cause.
That's one of those click and share if you think fighting breast cancer is a good cause.
Yeah.
That was kind of lame.
The Bohemian Rhapsody is coming to an end in 1:40. So you have to get back upstairs and
get settled back in. I'm trying to see if there's a window where you can see out and see the snow. But it's dark outside and light inside. We'll have to do that later. All right. Are you still eating those pretzels?
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
It was a big bag of pretzels. They're not going to get eaten in one show.
It's true.
And I ate a I don't know, tortilla with ham and cheese at lunchtime. So that's all I've had today.
Oh, I guess that's not much food for a growing boy.
No.
How's the rowing going?
Oh God, it hurts like hell. It's fun though. I mean, it's a good work. It's a really good workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I haven't done it today because I went to the morning show and then went straight to Jenny's. So I'll probably do some this evening when I get home. Here we go. This is us.
I
I think. Hold on. That's definitely us. All right, we're back. So Daniel was asking me how the rowing's going because I bought myself a rowing machine, and yeah, it's going good. However, it's really difficult. I go for like 10 minutes into it, and I'm just knackered, really exhausted. But it's a really good workout. I'm gonna keep that up. You know, I intend to drop the extra 10 pounds I've gained, and hopefully by the end of January I'll shed that extra weight. All right, couple of some gun news. Bit of gun news. Oh, for Christ. Did you hear that?
Is it still doing it?
Yeah. It's
Need
still
to switch.
I
Need to
don't
switch to an Android.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's never done that before. Just randomly playing music. Gun news. The Attorney General, I talked about this, I think maybe last time, I don't know. The Attorney General and the Governor of Virginia decided among themselves to bypass their legislature, to bypass the United States Constitution, and to unanimously end reciprocity with other states for their concealed carry permits. So that was nice. For anyone listening, reciprocity is where one state recognizes the permits of another state. Therefore, we would recognize Virginia's carry permit. They would recognize a Georgia permit, and you could carry legally in either state as long as there's a reciprocity agreement between the respective states' attorney generals. Well, the Virginia Attorney General, being an anti-gun maggot, and Terry McAuliffe, being an anti-gun maggot, have decided to fire a shot across the bow and just unilaterally ended reciprocity for concealed carry permit holders. This victimizes their own citizens as well, by the way. It doesn't just mean that somebody from Georgia going to Virginia can no longer carry. It means that any Virginia resident who has a concealed carry permit, who happens to, say, work out of state or live out of state, can no longer carry their gun either. Their permit's no longer valid in any state they visit. The gun rights organizations in Virginia believe that affects about 4 million residents of Virginia who have a Virginia permit but happen to live out of state for work and other reasons like that. Pretty bold move, if you ask me. I think it'll get challenged very quickly. What do you think?
It blows my mind. It truly just blows my mind that they could do that, even if you think it's not going to stand.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can do whatever they want to, right? The Attorney General and the governor can get together and issue whatever executive actions they choose, because they know it's going to be a year before it gets challenged in the courts.
Right.
Why not? I know that Gun Owners of America are challenging this, and I believe they're petitioning the Supreme Court of Virginia immediately. I believe they're bypassing the circuit courts and going straight to the Virginia Supreme Court. And if the Virginia court is anything, in the past, their rulings have always been relatively pro-gun. So I imagine it could get overturned quickly, But if, again, if the state appeals, they could get a sympathetic judge that says, we'll hold it over until appeal. And I don't know, these anti-gunners, like I say, we expect after the Christmas holiday, we expect the president to issue some executive orders, restricting guns as well. Baffles my mind, because anything he does is ultimately going to be challenged again as well. But I think he knows it'll be at least a year. It'll be at least a year. He'll be coming, if not at the end of his term, towards the end of his term. He's hoping, obviously, that the Democrats elected and that the Democrats get control of the House and the Senate, and that they can ban guns entirely. So I don't know. It's weird.
Horrifying.
Yep, they get away with murder. Now, obviously, people always say to me, well, they'll never ban guns. It's never going to happen. It won't happen in America. And it will happen in America. And all we have to do is look at California. And if you look at California's gun registry, which they implemented, I believe it's coming up on 3 years, possibly 4 years. Let's see here. So the law in California, I want to say it was about 3 or 4 years ago, they started a roster of allowed handguns. And they passed this law to create this roster, and what it said is that any gun currently on the market is okay, but any new guns that you plan on selling in California have to meet certain requirements in order to be placed onto the roster and allowable for sale in California. And any gun that is changed will be taken off of the roster. So here's what that meant to consumers. Here's what that meant to gun purchasers. Let's say you have a Glock 19, like my gun. And throughout the life cycle of that gun, the manufacturer will make changes at the manufacturing level to correct issues or to make it, run better. Or if there's a safety issue, they'll address it. And sometimes there's even a recall, and they'll bring back in the old ones, fix them, send them back out, right? If anything like that happens, the gun has to be taken off the registry in California, and it will not be allowed back onto the registry unless it meets certain requirements. One of those requirements is a biometric requirement. So it either has to include microstamping, which gun manufacturers have already said is feasibly impossible. Possibly a fingerprint reader, which gun manufacturers aren't going to do because they don't work, they're ineffective, and they will get people killed. I think there's one other thing that it could include, possibly like a ring, like a ring lock. If somebody's wearing a ring, it'll unlock the gun and allow it to fire. But if the firearm manufacturer does not include one of these features, it is not allowed on the gun registry or the whatever they call it in California. So since the implementation of this law, I believe there were about 1,500 to 2,000 guns were allowed on the list to begin with. Now, since they implemented this law, I don't know where my browser has gone. Let's try Google. Since they've implemented this, I believe over half of the guns have been removed from the registry because the manufacturer has made changes to them or updated them or released a new model. No guns, none whatsoever, have been added to the list. There has not been one approved gun added to this list for sale in California. So all of the new Glock models, the Glock 42 is not legal for sale in California. The Glock 43 is not legal for sale in California. Any of the optics ready Glocks are not legal for sale in California. Basically, anything manufactured after the date this law went into effect has not been added to the list. So none of the Springfield XDs are legal for sale in California, so on and so forth. Colt this week, the nation's, I want to say, the nation's oldest manufacturer, possibly second to Ruger, the original manufacturer of the 1911 single action pistol, which has been around since 1911. Think about that. Been on the market and in people's hands since 1911. Well, Colt started telling dealers this week that they are going, all their guns, all their 1911s are going to fall off the roster of approved handguns for sale within the next 60 days due to a change in manufacturing. So because they're changing one thing in manufacturing, which could be as simple as the material used for the slide stop, for example, or it could be as simple as going from a titanium button to a magnesium button. Because of that change, these guns will now no longer be legal for sale in California. This, I'll tell you what, this law that they passed, if you're an anti-gun, if you're a gun prohibitionist, this law was absolute genius, because eventually every single gun is going to have to be removed from the list, and it will not be and no new guns are going to get added to the list. And they did this and there was nothing shady about it. They did it, the legislature did it in broad daylight, and because people didn't see the ramification and they didn't see the end game of this law, the gun, the gun rights activists, or people who are pro-gun, even your average homeowner who just wants to be able to defend himself and his family, they didn't think about the long-term ramifications of this bill. It passed with public support, thinking, oh, this is going to cut down on some crime, and it's turned into probably the best shady gun ban ever passed in America. Can you believe this?
Again, horrifying.
1911, this gun was first made. It's been on the market. They've been used. It was the official sidearm for the military. I have a 1911. It's a nice gun. I like it. It's more of a pretty gun than a fighting gun for me. But since 1911, and now because of one manufacturing change, you're no longer gonna be able to buy them in California. That to me is horrifying. Or at least the Colt versions. Now, Ruger, I'm sure, will still sell theirs, and as long as they don't make any manufacturing changes, they should remain on the market. But Colt are considered the industry leader in 1911s. They're considered the benchmark for that pistol, and it's, quite frankly, it could be a safety issue they're addressing, and the law in California prohibits it from being sold. I don't know. I fully expect to see, considering how successful this registry has been, I fully expect to see this spreading around the country. I'm surprised it hasn't already. It's been a number of years in California. I'm really surprised nobody else has passed it so far. Places like Connecticut and Massachusetts,
New York.
Yeah, anti-gun places. Really, I'm shocked they haven't passed this or their own version of this bill, because it's been the best gun control measure I think ever passed, and it was passed right out in the open.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly innocuous.
Yeah. I mean, you would think, right? People say, oh yeah, some kind of biometric security on a gun. Well, there's a reason that police departments don't use these things. Let's say it's a fingerprint reader, and you pick it up, and and we know what fingerprint readers are like. They're not very reliable.
Right.
The iPhone's done pretty well with its, but in general, they're pretty janky. And then when you add in to a situation where you could be fighting on the ground, rolling around in the dirt, mud on your hands, blood on your hands, wet hands, fingerprint readers never work under those conditions. And that's why police departments flat out refuse to use guns with some kind of biometric security. Never mind if, your partner, you have to give your partner a weapon, or I don't know, these things are awful.
Right.
But they managed to get it passed in California. Oh well. All right. Well, that's that. Bit of gun news right there. It horrifies me. Just everybody says it'll never happen in America, and we said that in England, and they said that in Australia, and I'll be damned if it didn't happen. So, be vigilant.
Well, I think that's a big part of the problem too, is that we still believe that it'll never happen in America.
Yeah, I know.
They'll never take our guns.
I know. It's great.
So, yeah, I think that's how they slide these laws in that will end up taking our guns.
Mm-hmm. And where the who was it? It was some left leaning website. It may have been Politico. They conducted a poll prior to Christmas that said a majority of Americans now oppose a ban on assault weapons, and I use quotey fingers because that's a made up term. So now I think it was 56% of Americans oppose a ban on assault weapons because the last ban was so ineffective. It did nothing to reduce or prevent crime. And now that public opinion is against the lawmakers, they're looking for ways to do this. For example, in Virginia, executive action was this one step of ending reciprocity with other states. That was executive action. We expect the president to issue executive orders after the holiday break when he gets back from Hawaii. I think they're speculating on an expansion of watch list bans. Effectively, if you're on any kind of government watch list, you'll be prohibited from buying a weapon. And I've seen speculation all the way up to and including a ban on manufacturing. Now, of course, that will never stand. But it'll buy him a year or two. And I think that's what they're after.
Right.
Just buy him a year or two. All right. Well, we got a break coming up. Then, I don't know, we'll talk about something else. We'll be back in a few. All right.
That shit was not funny.
What shit?
Well, you were supposed to be funnying up the show.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, you make it, then you make it. I said I'm counting on you to carry most of this show.
We're drinking beer to funny ourselves up. You ain't being funny.
Yeah.
Look, my beer has boobs. Are you seeing my beer boobs?
Beer
and
boob.
they're right where you hold the beer. You're not. I see you not looking. I see you ignoring me. Yes, hi.
Let me see. 8:05.
I have some lists you can read if it gets too interesting. Hulu is actually adding a whole bunch of stuff in January. I should rub my nose through the whole show. That looks awesome. Check that out.
We're not going to do lists, are we? We may.
No.
Holy shit. This show is going bad.
Where are we at? Then we can at least blame it on the list.
Why are we not funny?
Blame it on the list.
Is Hangouts throwing us off?
Nah, I think we're all right. I think you're just in a mood.
I'm not in a mood. Are you in a mood?
No, I'm good.
I'm in a great mood. I got my Guinness. I got my pretzels. I got all this technology figured out.
Yeah, I think we're good. We're all right.
All right.
So I got a couple little things. I think we can talk about how Hulu used to kind of suck, but now they're really adding a bunch of stuff.
Oh, are they?
There are multiple options to fire cable.
That's funny because
Oh,
I was just thinking about dumping Hulu.
oh, really?
I never use it because it didn't have anything I like to watch. Maybe I should
Check
check it
out.
out again.
Where did I see the list? I don't know. Shit.
And I hate that I pay $10 a month to watch commercials. And then if I don't want to pay to watch commercials, I have to pay them extra money.
Hang on, something's talking. I gotta shut my shit down. There it is. Um, say that again. What was that last rant?
I said I hate that I have to pay them $10 a month just to watch commercials.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't mind the commercials. They're really short, and I go pee.
But it's the same thing over and over, and it
It
just
is.
annoys the tits off of me. But
Yeah.
then if I don't want to see the commercials, I have to pay them extra money.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be annoyed by the commercials, then Hulu is not the. Does Netflix not have commercials?
Commercial free. And
Is
YouTube
it
starting
okay?
to annoy me as well because they have more and more commercials every second.
Right. Yeah. I guess I don't mind the commercials on Hulu because I watch Hulu a lot. I've been watching Catfish. I watched Towie for months.
Damn it.
What is happening?
I don't know.
The technology is taking over. It's
Stop.
Hal.
It just needs to stop playing music.
So I just saw a thing. I'm going to text this to you because I'm not sure we should even say this on the YouTubes. But you might just not even care. Just say it out loud.
All right. Well, if it's going to play something, I need to queue up something that's not copyrighted. So I'm gonna queue up a podcast. So
the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
so if anything starts playing, it'll be a podcast. How's that sound?
Yes.
Let's do that. Oh, which
But,
actor? Let me see.
Mark
Oh, you did.
Selling?
There was no link.
No, I just texted it to you real quick just to see if you wanted to.
Oh,
Here,
good.
hang on. I'll send you the link.
I want to talk about minimum wage increase. Clark Howard posted a very good article about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You should have the link.
Okay. Taking some time. Our terms of service and privacy policy have changed. Sod off, CNN.
I keep like half reading articles and then you'll start talking about something and then I start listening to you and have no idea what the article was saying. So I have absolutely nothing to say about like 9 different theoretically interesting things. And then I don't know where they were to go back and look at them. So I'm doing awesome. And the Gladiators are playing, so Keith won't be failing
5
us.
minutes till game time. Why not grab some buds?
What the hell was that? Was that
That
your
was
thing? That
that was awesome.
that was your light thing?
My Red Wings, yeah.
So
Goal alert.
it's telling you that they're about to start playing.
5 minutes to game time. Grab some buds.
I would really like to know what that's linked into to know that where it's getting its
Oh,
data.
I just knocked my thing over. I mean, you can buy them for any NHL team, I believe.
Huh.
But all the cool kids have the Red Wings.
Except for Atlanta's NHL team.
Do you know that Atlanta holds the honor of being the only city to have lost not one but 2 NHL teams?
Yep.
The only city to ever do that.
We suck at it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where Keith is tonight. He's at hockey.
Yep. I think you have a switch in your brain that says Danielle is speaking absorb no content. Because I just said that.
Oh, did you? Hey, do you know where Keith is?
I don't know. He might be off drinking at the bars.
Nah, he's at hockey. He sent me a picture.
Oh, is there hockey tonight?
Mm-hmm. I did not hear
I
you
sh-
say that. Was I reading?
Uh, Hopefully you were pulling up some content because what I said was Keith has hockey, so he won't be bailing us out. Was what had happened.
Oh, okay. I don't care about this Glee kid.
Okay.
I don't even know who he is. Do you know who
Me
he is?
neither. No, I just saw porn and was like, oh, and then I was like, oh, that's not cute.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea who that is. I haven't seen Glee in years.
Me neither.
I'm kind of glad. You know, it's so bad. I'm going back to my show notes from last week to see if there's anything interesting from last week, because there was fuck all from this week.
Yeah. I mean, the only tech going on now is people talking about like what to do with the technology that you got for Christmas.
Yeah, how to set up your iPhone or
Yeah. Or
best-
like what gadgets you need to go with your gadget gifts. I can't tell you how many articles I've read on Bluetooth headsets and cheap earbuds. I don't know why I read them. I just do.
I read them as well. It's fine.
Yeah. I did read an article on connected houses being a hacking risk or like bearing a hacking risk or whatever. And that you need to go in and change passwords and stuff, which people are not doing.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
I mean, I don't have much to say about it. I hope you know more than that.
Oh, I mean, I'll make some shit up.
Yeah. You can talk about what you know.
I know. Yeah, I know some stuff about it.
Okay, good. I know there are Star Wars urns on the market that you can have your ashes placed in the Death Star or in the Darth Vader helmet. For those Star Trek Galactica geeks.
Battle Star Wars Trek.
Yep, Galactica.
Is my phone making fucking noise again?
Hey, does your droid have to be registered?
No, it's too small.
That's what she said.
It's only shut up. It's only it's only drones over 0.55.
0.55, yeah. Yours is less than that?
Yeah, it's tiny. It fits in the palm of my hand. It probably weighs 5 ounces.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's like ultra miniature. I don't even know how it. Well, it doesn't really stay stable at all. It's really difficult to fly, and I can't get it to trim exactly so it hovers dead level.
Okay.
There's that. Let me see, 820 or after. $820. We'll be back on at 8:30. 8:20 is fine. I think Steven's going to call in at 8:20
Oh, sweet.
or ish. Maybe he can save this show.
Be nice.
Here we go. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
All right, we're back. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about, so I'm going to sit here, eat some pretzels, drink some Guinness. Danny, go ahead.
Yep.
Take the show.
Oh, am I talking? Well, we could talk about Hulu expanding their catalog of offerings in January.
Go on then.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to read the list of offerings.
All right.
but-
Well, okay. Here's my challenge to you.
Okay.
I have actually been considering canceling Hulu because I haven't been watching it, and they really haven't had any content that I've been interested in. What do they have coming up that will keep me a subscriber? Anything good?
You know what? I jotted down a couple of titles. They literally have dozens of titles coming on. Catch 22, which is a movie based on the book. It was made like early 70s. There's a show called Angels Among Us, which I think is a lady that talks to angels. Fast and Loud, season 7.
We have actually resorted back to a list. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying this is a list.
You just asked me.
But
How am I going to tell you without listing?
I know. But what on there is good?
Those are the good ones. Fast and Loud is fucking awesome. Do you not watch Fast and Loud?
No, I have no idea what that is.
So then how do you know it's not good? Just because of your limited scope, that does not mean that the show is limited in quality.
True.
Naked and Afraid?
No, don't know.
Okay. See, you're the problem here, not Hulu, I think.
That could be.
I'm just saying.
You're
way behind. You are far behind on your Towie.
I know. Here's what I've been watching recently. Narcos, Suits, and some YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Really?
I told you that Jersey Shore is on.
Merry Christmas Eve. Why are you listening to a podcast? Hey, I know that's good. We're all enjoying the 10-minute podcast.
What the hell just happened?
My phone started playing again.
We got hijacked.
It seems like every time I get a Facebook Messenger message, something starts playing. I don't get it.
It's awesomely bizarre to be happening on Tech Talk.
Yeah, what a bug.
Love it.
All right, well, never mind. I'll just keep an eye on it. So if you hear Will Sasso kick in every now and then, that's what that is. That's my phone bugging out. All right, Hulu. I don't know. We'll see. I'll check it out. See what's on there. There were two things I watched on Hulu. The New Girl.
Uh-huh. The next season of The New Girl is coming on. Season 5, I think.
Okay, I may watch that. And Shark Tank.
Okay.
That was the only thing on Hulu that I wanted to watch. So,
well, Towie is on there, and you need to catch up.
I thought it was on Netflix. All right, yeah, I do need to.
No, I've been watching it. It might have been on Netflix, but I've been watching it on Hulu.
All right, fair enough.
So, and Hot Tub Time Machine 2 is on there.
I'm
because 1 wasn't enough. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, 1 was. It was enough for me, I'll tell you that much. Oh, Christ, what else do we have? We don't have shit to talk about.
Star Wars Urns.
I don't know what that means.
You know, for dead people. When you're dead and you get cremated, you got to have something to put your ashes in.
Okay, that's kind of like Star Wars luggage. Remember that stuff?
Yes, like the Star Wars luggage, but then when you're dead, you got the Star Wars urns.
Right. So they could ship your urn in your Star Wars. It was Samsonite too, an actual manufacturer.
It was nice luggage, yeah.
Cases. One was a stormtrooper, and one was what was that little? Who's that little?
R2D2.
What?
It was R2D2.
Okay, take your word for it. That little beepy thing.
The little beepy guy.
Yep. That was cool.
Yes.
So who's selling these urns? Is it Disney?
I don't think so.
No. That would be kind of fun if Disney started selling urns.
Let me Google and see. I didn't write down the urn maker.
Literally have you from cradle to the grave.
Oh, dude, come on.
All right.
You got to do better.
I wasn't trying to. It wasn't meant to be funny. It was just an observation. Jesus Christ. So New York City, this is kind of cool, actually. They are replacing, so nobody uses payphones anymore, correct?
Right.
well, there's probably one or two people, but most people have a cell phone. So in New York City, they have all of these payphone sites that the city, the city owns them, or whoever it is, the New York Bell telephone company, whatever owns them. So New York City are replacing every one of these public payphone sites with a Wi-Fi hotspot and a cell phone charging station. So it will offer free Wi-Fi, and you can go and plug in your cell phone to charge it up. I got to tell you, I think that's a pretty cool idea. It's a little bit socialist, giving away the free Wi-Fi to everybody in New York, but it's going to blanket Manhattan with free Wi-Fi coverage effectively.
Well, and with the Obama phones that we learned about last week, we know everybody's got a damn cell phone now. So,
That's very true. They can log their Obama phones onto the Bloomberg Wi-Fi and call it it's not Bloomberg anymore. It's De Blasio Wi-Fi, and call it hell shit. Everything will be free. It's amazing.
Yep. Just plug right in, get your free juice, charge it up.
I wonder if I wonder if New York City will have to set up now a special IT department, which is going to cost millions of dollars just to administer this thing, say to prevent people surfing porn or whatever. Because the last thing you want is some homeless dude with his Obama phone hooked up on the Wi-Fi streaming gay porno.
You just went way too far with that.
Central Park.
Entirely too far.
Fucking beating it right there in Central Park. Homeless
just
that'd be awful.
Down the toilet.
That'd be awful.
Down the toilet.
Just saying. It's probably going to happen. You wait and see.
It's already happening without them having the free internet.
Well, now they'll have the internet. They'll just be doing it more often, more publicly.
Stop it. Let's move on. What else you got?
I got nothing. I'm telling you, it was an awful slow week.
It was. All of the articles this week were about all the gadgets you now need to use the gadgets you got for Christmas.
Yep. I want to talk about minimum pay raise, but I want to wait till Stephen calls in.
Okay. We could talk about connected houses or connected homes.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Why? The risk that they present as they allow hackers these sort of entryways into your network now.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that a real thing? Like, is it really a vulnerability, or is that just something that people want you to worry about? So now you go out and,
it's always
get security stuff.
It's always
your
been,
turn.
I know. This show is so crap. I'm just here eating pretzels. It's always been a risk to people since we started getting internet in our homes. We have, let's say you go out and buy a router. Even before Wi-Fi, you could go out and buy a router and hook up your cable or your DSL. And people were hooking these things up and leaving the default administrator password in place, right? And some of these routers would allow remote administration by default. And so if you left everything with its defaults, then anybody could.
Classic 10-minute podcast in December, right? 10-minute podcast.
I swear to God. Then anybody could say log into your router, and they could either change a bunch of settings or they could start monitoring all of your traffic. So yeah, it's always a risk, and it always has been even since routers. Now with this connected home stuff, I have some home automation type things. My light bulbs, for example, are the Philips Hue, and those are hooked up to my Wi-Fi. And I suppose if somebody wanted to hack into my network, they could control my light bulbs, for example. my security system is a kind of a connected home type of thing as well. So I suppose theoretically, if somebody could actually break through, now these are, you would have to break through my firewall in order to get control of them. And obviously, I do not use the default passwords on any of my equipment. So I mean, you can try breaking through if that's what you choose to do. I don't think you'll have much luck. Now, Apple have thought about this because Apple added some functionality to iOS 9 called HomeKit. And what this does is let your phone, or more specifically Siri, it lets Siri interface with all these devices. So you can get home and say, hey Siri, turn my lights on, or hey Siri, set my lights to 30%, or hey Siri, turn off my alarm. Or you could control a number of things. You could have Siri, hey Siri, set evening mode, and it would dim your lights and turn on the TV and automate a lot of features. Yeah.
Right.
But there were a lot of products already on the market. For example, my Philips Hue light bulbs. And Apple said, well, your existing light bulbs are not going to work with HomeKit because the existing base station has no encryption. And so the communication between your cell phone and your base station is unencrypted. And I guess anybody with a packet sniffer could potentially grab that information or start ripping out some passwords and whatever. So Apple have said in order for HomeKit to work, any HomeKit enabled devices now have to support 128-bit AES encryption from end to end. Philips responded to that with, say, my light bulbs by making a new base station that I can buy, which supports the required encryption. So I could buy it, add it to my system, and be able to use Apple's HomeKit, and then also know that I have the end-to-end encryption to prevent people, jacking into it and screwing with it. I don't know that I'm going to, because it's my damn light bulbs. What can I do? Seriously, what can they do? Flash my bulbs at me a little bit? I don't really care about that. Maybe things I add to it from this point on, I'll be concerned about that. For example, Roomba, they just came, or the company that makes Roombas just came out.
Go to 10minutepodcast.com and hit the Amazon banners and do all the things.
I just texted you.
Yeah.
Was that?
It seems like whenever I get a message, the audio kicks in. Anyway, the company that makes Roomba just launched a new model, which is a connected home model, and you can control it over the internet, and it's controllable via an app, and I believe it's HomeKit enabled. So now when I can get home, I can say, hey Roomba, go vacuum my bedroom, or Roomba, go vacuum my living room, or Roomba, go clean up the mess in the kitchen that I just made. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure that I need to be concerned about the security of a Roomba. I can see it for, say, door locks and your automated home garage door opener, or these doorbell systems now that have video cameras plugged into them. I can see the need for a quite high level of security with devices like that. For the level of home automation I have, I'm not concerned about the 128-bit encryption. And like I said, anybody would have to break through my firewall and my router security first of all in order to even have access to any of those things.
So if someone is on a router, do they sort of, just by virtue of being on a router, have some level of security, or no?
A router is a firewall. It blocks. A router, by definition, or out of the box, blocks incoming ports, and except for the real basic ones like HTTP, which I think is port 84.
Okay.
That's open so that you can do your your internet traffic back and forth. Some of your standard email ports are generally open, like port 25. However, some when you, if you, let's say you get your router from Comcast, for example, a lot of times they'll block port 25 and expecting you to use their Comcast email, and the Comcast email is set up to use a different port. So their routers are set up with that specific port to them open, and port 25 is blocked. So if you try setting up your Gmail, for example, it may not work. Then you end up calling Comcast and saying, why can't I get my Gmail? And they have to walk you through opening up port 25 and shit like that. So yeah, if you have a router, it is a firewall. And if you purchased your router from Best Buy and you got, say, a Linksys router, and your default password is, and your defaults are username admin, password admin, go ahead and change those, because those are always the defaults on a Linksys router, and
Right.
someone could quite easily find it if they're just scanning the internet, pinging, and they're looking for a response from Linksys routers. They could then get behind your firewall, and if you do have a home connected Roomba, for all you know, they could start vacuuming your cats up.
So in all seriousness, how hard is that to change those passwords?
Oh, it's simple. Every router has a default address. It's usually 192.168.1.1 is generally the default address for Linksys routers anyway. You plug that into your browser's address bar, 192.168.1.1, and it takes you to the configuration page of your router. From there, you log in, and again, the default username is admin. The password is admin. If it's another brand of router, you can look in the user manual to see what the defaults are. From there, you can go to the security tab and change that username and password. And it should be the first thing you do with a new router. Very few people do it. Very few people bother to change the default on their router.
And yeah, that's what the article that I was reading that was talking about this, that's what they were doing, was just, and it was a security guy who was doing it really just to show the writer how easy it was and how vulnerable people were. And yeah, he was just, going in people's security systems and looking in their cameras and doing things that you don't want someone else to do. And it was exactly what you just said, admin.
Mm-hmm.
Admin username, admin password. So
and it could potentially cost you money, because let's say you have a Nest thermostat and somebody breaches your router, gets control of your Nest, and say jacks your temperature down to
rate and review the show on iTunes.
Christ
Download,
almighty,
subscribe on
jacks your temperature down to say 50 degrees while you're on vacation. It could cost you some money.
Well, what he was talking about was going in and looking at people's patterns. Like if you look at the pattern of when somebody lowers the temperature in their house, that's probably when they're not there. So break into their house.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the risks are always there.
Yeah.
And the number one thing you should do is change the default password on your router.
Well, and you just don't want somebody creeping in your damn house. Change your password.
Right. And be on the lookout for drones outside your bedroom windows, because apparently that's a big deal these days. If you listen to the government anyway.
What'd you say?
If you're to listen to the government anyway, apparently it's a big deal. Keeping toms with their drones. All right, we got a break. I've gone over by a few minutes, so we're going to do some commercials and I don't know, something. I'm going to try and catch up on these damn Facebook messages. They're blowing up my phone, and we'll be back. All right, we're on a break.
Awesome.
8:20. I really don't have much of anything else to talk about. Well, no, I guess I got stuff. What is Google? Hang on, I'm gonna look this up.
What is it?
So there's this thing. It's the Google On Hub, ONHUB, Google On Hub, and they're making it seem like it's a router, but some kind of fancy special router. I've done no research into this. Why don't you look that up real quick?
Okay.
Google OnHub. OnHub is one word.
I got it. I'm on it. I'm literally on the website. Do you want me
Okay.
to send it to you or?
No, just find out what it is and then explain it to me when we come back.
Okay. It looks like that thing from
I'm on that.
Amazon. Are your headphones on? Okay, you hear me.
I paid into my phone. Oh, and there's Steven. Is it 8:20? Oh shit, it is 8:20. Smitty.
Somebody. That's right.
We're on a break right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you were listening. Say hi. Say
No,
hi.
I was eating.
Say hello to Danielle.
Hello, Danielle.
Hi, Schmitty. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. You can hear each other. This is working.
Yeah.
This is brilliant. Because
You're a tech genius.
well, Danielle's on the Hangouts, on the Google Hangouts on video.
It'd be bad if you couldn't set up a conference call on Tech Talk.
Well, listen, here's the I know you're right, but here's the thing. We got one machine for the radio, one machine for the Google Hangouts, and then the mixing board, and then a cell phone, and you got to try and get everything to work together. Getting the video working is the easy part. It's getting the audio to all three places that's the difficult part.
I got you.
But still, we got it
But
working.
still. Cool.
So Clark Howard, I was reading an article on his page yesterday. I don't know when he posted it, but he was talking about a minimum wage increase. And he was talking about how he expects these to be a lot more, I guess, prevalent in 2016. You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now or later?
When we come back on the air.
Gotcha.
Because I will obviously introduce Stephen.
Obviously you will.
Duh.
The Stephen.
How's your Christmas?
My Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was great. Went up to Virginia to the farm.
Oh, so Lisa?
Pretty much. Yeah, Lisa, Dad, my brother, my nieces, and drank a lot of beer and smoked a lot of weed.
Damn right.
So.
As you should.
It was great.
I smoked no weed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one way to do Christmas.
I know.
Danielle, how was your Christmas?
It was good. I didn't see Alex, but that was okay. I tried to get him to come over, but he blew me off.
But
as he does.
I saw you the day after.
Well, I mean, I got him for Boxing Day, but not for Christmas.
Right, and the week before, and you were in the studio twice.
Whatever.
How many times you How many times you got to see a brother?
I had to see you on your schedule, not mine.
That was 4 times. I have a couple of minutes to go grab a beer. Hold on. You guys chat among yourselves. and if Will Sasso breaks in, just deal with it for a minute.
Just jam with it. We went shopping at the outlet mall. Did you hear?
I didn't.
Yes, it was very fun. My mom lives in Cumming, right near the outlet malls up in Dawsonville.
Right.
So that's how I got Alex to come visit me. I told him I'd take him shopping at the outlets.
That's always a great way to coax Alex to come visit you.
Yes, take him out where he can mingle with the great unwashed.
Right. Well done.
Well, and he seemed surprised both days that it was just awash with people. We went the Sunday before Christmas and the 26th.
Right.
And the mall was packed both days, and he was just amazed. Couldn't imagine why there were so many people there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know why the day after Christmas would be a busy shopping day. You've got the build up to Christmas to do all your shopping and get it out of the way. Then you're done with your money. You have no money. Then you work the following week. You get your paycheck ready for the January New Year's Day sale. Boxing Day should not be a busy shopping day. Everybody theoretically should be broke.
One of the 2 busiest shopping days of the year.
I did not know this, and I guess normally I'm drunk on Boxing Day. I don't know, but
I texted you. You opted not to believe me.
I don't know if it was disbelief or disbelief,
or just
or even
utter dismissal. You might have just dismissed it.
I don't get it. People just spent thousands of dollars and probably got up to hawk to their eyeballs on their credit cards for Christmas, and then they're out shopping the day after Christmas.
And they were buying stuff too.
I get it if it's people with their gift cards, right? They got their fucking whatever, their Hugo Boss gift card for Christmas, and they're out buying stuff. But they weren't. These people were paying with money.
Yeah.
I paid with my. I run a very small but efficient credit card scammer machine over here. I scam people out of money, and I just spend that.
Okay.
Whatever works for you, brother.
Not true, of course.
I know. Where would you, if you were to run a credit card scanner thing, where it rips off people's cards and numbers, where would you set it up?
No, it's not like that. I would just call people and say, I'm from the IRS and you owe back taxes or some shit like that. And I'm also a Nigerian prince, and I need your credit card.
That IRS thing is an actual thing. Clark Howard posts warnings about that all the time. Yeah. I'm from the IRS. You owe us about $15,000. How do you want to pay for that?
Oh, shit. I better give you my credit card. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have that much money. I can't pay right now. Can I do a payment plan?
That's right. Well, you can, but we'd rather get it all.
It starts with an initial down payment that's $15,000.
Well, can you put it on multiple credit cards?
It seems like a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Please, that's the only way I can do it. I don't want to go to jail. I have 19 kids.
I'll tell you what, you go ahead and apply for a new card with a bigger limit, and we'll call back next week.
Done.
That's it right there.
I mean, if we're going to scam people out of money, we don't want too much work involved.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We got, I don't know, like a minute, and then we'll be on, and I'll introduce Steven, and then we'll start talking. And this show, I don't know if you've been listening, Steven, but it's been a bit awful.
Okay.
So
I'll help you out.
Good man.
So we got about 45 seconds?
Yep.
Plenty of time for me to rub one out.
Maybe. Maybe
on the free New York Wi-Fi.
And I'm done.
Well, that left you some cleanup time as well.
God, y'all, come on.
Oh, yeah.
All that's left now is to throw that sock in the trash.
That's right. Oh, that's good. That's dirty.
There's 2 chapsticks here on this desk, and I'm assuming they were Scott's. One of them's unopened. I'm tempted to open it. I'm not. I won't. I'm not. He'll come running down those stairs in a minute, yelling, "Don't open my chapstick!"
That's original flavor too. That's gross.
Oh, you can see that?
Yeah.
Yep, it is. 8-hour moisture. Almighty, we're talking about fucking chapstick. Oh, good God. All right. Oh, that's us. All right. We'll go on. All right, we're back. Yep, we're back. Sorry. However, joining us to save the show, Smitty.
Thank you.
Smitty.
Yeah.
How
to be here.
How the hell are you?
I'm fantastic, as always.
Good. I'm actually glad you called in because, well, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about as well. However, I was reading a story on Facebook. Clark Howard posted this talking about the minimum wage increase in some cities right now, going up to $15 an hour in some cases. And he was and you know, Clark Howard, he's a reasonable guy. He was talking about the pros and cons. And me personally, I'm pro living wage. I think it's a good idea. And I do think there are cons to it as well, especially in the food service industries, as has been shown in other countries. And I'm pretty sure I know where you stand on it, but what's your opinion on this $15 minimum wage?
Right. Well, first of all, I want to point out that my guy, Bernie Sanders, running for president, is a strong supporter of $15 an hour minimum wage for laborers who currently make the federal and state minimum wages, and Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, is a supporter of the $12 minimum wage. That's an important difference to draw. Not that anybody who's listening would vote for Bernie, but just so you know. Here's the crux of it. The minimum wage, $15 minimum wage argument, as I see it, my version of it, is a four-parter, but it's quick. And the first part is you have to dispel the notion that it's some kind of class struggle thing. I think a lot of people who don't like to hear about raising the minimum wage always assume that it's you're invoking some kind of class thing here. You don't like people who make a lot of money, but you're falling in with people who don't have a lot of money, something like that. And that's not what it's about. There's nothing wrong with some people having a lot of money and some people having a little bit of money. That's the nature of a capitalistic society. And that's not what the argument is about. We don't address that. The second part is that it's important to understand that once you pay somebody more than a starvation wage, they are then able to do some things that they weren't able to do before, such as save money, pay for things like health insurance, pay for medical bills, and allow them to traverse the different economic stratospheres that they weren't able to get to before. That's the most important part right there.
Okay.
I'll just stop there.
Okay. And I'll add one thing. What people always forget is that it will also drive up wages across the board. So a minimum wage increase to $15 for the lowest paid in society will also put wage pressure on other earners as well, especially middle income type earners. And it always has. Anytime there's been anywhere I've seen a minimum wage increase, it's also put upward pressure on other wages as well. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people who oppose the minimum wage forget that they likely will benefit from a minimum wage increase also. You know, and I hear people say all the time, well, I'll just quit my job and go flip burgers. Chances are you won't, because the value of your job will also increase.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it'll also increase. And the third part that goes along with that is it's a dignity issue. Mm-hmm. I mean, people who go to work and make $7 an hour, they're not too hyped about, first of all, probably going to work. How much money do we lose in economic production every year from people calling out sick?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and the first part of that is that some of them really are sick and they can't afford to pay to go to the hospital. And the second part is they don't want to go to work. There's nothing in it for the employee. There's no loyalty either. But once you make it a job where someone can take a little bit of pride in, then you've got a different situation on your hands.
You also have those. You also have a portion. I don't know that this is many, but you also have some people who will lay out of work so they don't hit the cap where benefits start to get cut off. And raising the wage noticeably will eliminate that problem as well, because then they'll have an incentive. Even if their benefits get cut off, they still have that incentive to go to work because they're going to be making more money anyway.
Yeah, it's very important.
What about the negatives though? Let's talk about what's happened in England, where England, they have a much higher minimum wage than here, and the fast food companies have responded with an awful lot of automation, and they've cut the number of jobs in the industry by almost, I think it's either almost or over 50%, since they have automated ordering, automated delivery to the counter, and things like that. The argument is, we had the same problem when America was a farm economy, and they brought a lot of automation into the farm economy, but people started finding jobs in other areas because this automation created, we were creating more food through automation, which created more jobs in other segments like packaging and processing and things like that. Do you think there's a if a displaced fast food worker, for example, is put out of work by automation, do you see a segment where that could pick them up as a employee?
I don't know if there are a lot of, actually no, I don't think that would be the reality of the situation, because if you are looking to go lower, and I'm just talking about in a financial sense, than, a fast food worker or, somebody who works a job like that, those jobs are probably already taken by immigrant workers, who we know have been famously employed as working nominal jobs like that. So I don't think there's anywhere for them to go.
Right. So this brings up a point I made on the morning show one day. You could, by upping the wage to $15, you could end up displacing a large number of people who have nothing else to do, and they may just end up going on to benefits and trying to live life that way, which is impossible. So here's my idea, and I'm a conservative. You're not. We'll put it that way. But tell me what you think of this idea. I support a minimum wage. I support actually a living wage. What I don't like about it is the government aspect of mandating it. However, if the government is going to mandate something, do you think it would be better for them, instead of raising the minimum wage or doubling it effectively, what about if they said to these companies, you now have to pay whatever that difference is? Let's say it's an extra $7.50 an hour. You give them that, but they have to use it towards their education.
No, I'm not in favor of that sort of government mandate. That's a little too, not complicated, but it's it's more layered than it needs to be. The natural recourse for a business in America in a capitalistic market, when told they have to pay their employees more, is a withdrawal from that at first, and the second reaction is, okay, how can we recoup that money? Every business has, especially a large business like, say, McDonald's, has a group of people somewhere with a bunch of complicated, fancy spreadsheets and algorithms whose purpose is to maximize profits. Every once in a while, Uncle Sam has to go in those buildings and in those offices and slap them around a little bit. And how that manifests itself is, you tell these companies, you are going to pay your employees this much, and that's just the end of it. You don't have to tell people what to do with it. You don't have to hand out any tax credits or anything like that. The reality of the situation is that cost can be absorbed, and if you lose a little bit of profits, so be it.
I can't argue with that. I guess what I'm saying is, don't you think there's a larger potential benefit to the economy to instead of just doubling what they put in their pocket, to actually helping them get an education so they can actually move on? It to me, it serves a twofold purpose. Number one, a company like McDonald's, for example, and we do this in England, by the way. I think you and I have talked about this. It's very common for a company to pay for their employees' education, and then their employee agrees to contract with them for X number of years after they get their degree, stay on before, like a no-compete clause, for example. It would benefit, let's use McDonald's as the example. They have an employee who's working the register, and instead of paying them $15 an hour, they continue to pay them, maybe increase the minimum wage. You just do that a little bit, or it's hard, I know, because living at minimum wage is dreadful, but it seems to me the long-term benefit to the employee would be so much better if we maybe gave them a little more to live on, but also said to the company, now you have to pay for their education so they can better themselves. Then once they've bettered themselves, you can their contractually obligated to you for 2 or 3 years, you could end up with an amazing pool of educated employees who go on into management and upper management, and you have a guaranteed supply of valuable employees, and the ones who don't want to stay around then have many more options available to them that just increasing the minimum wage would not accomplish.
That's a bit too involved for me. It's just the way it takes me. I think that some people aren't going to want to go to college. If you want to spend your life manning the drive-through window at McDonald's, if they'll have you, I think that's fine.
And colleges, sorry to butt in, but colleges don't have to take them. I mean, I think we're assuming that these people aren't going to college because they don't want to go. And I think that's assuming that sort of American dream of if you want to get it and you work hard enough, you can get it. And I think that's sort of, I believe that it's a falsity. So I think just saying somebody will pay for you to go to college doesn't necessarily mean that somebody can go to college.
True. There's another thing they do in England. It's called the YTS, the Youth Training Scheme, and effectively with a portion of the tax money that corporations pay, they fund not only for education, but also for apprenticeships and learning skills and trade schools, technical colleges, and things like that. What about it? Again, just throwing it out there to see what Stephen thinks. Instead of doubling the minimum wage, what if the companies were told, you have to take that money, give it to us, we're going to invest it into a youth training scheme so that these kids in high school can start a career path in high school. So if they want to be a plumber, they can do an apprenticeship as a plumber, and effectively it's subsidized by the larger corporations that would normally be on the hook for the minimum wage. What about something like that? It wouldn't necessarily mean going to college, but it would be funding for further education of some sort.
I'll go there with you in terms of just any higher education. It doesn't have to be college. It can be trade school. It's just a bit too involved for my liking. I think if you want to look for ways to subsidize higher learning, you can find a way through a natural avenue of taxation, say legalizing marijuana and taxing that. We've seen that's had great educational benefits in states like Colorado.
Yep.
There are natural ways to feed that system to where we don't have to tell companies where they're going to put their revenues. We're suggesting that we should do that by telling them you have to pay your employees more, but we want to minimize that as much as possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I think education for a lot of these guys is the key. Whatever they do, I think what about an optional program? Either take the minimum wage increase or take an education benefit or something, just to give the ones that want to learn or want to do an apprenticeship or want to go to college, they're not really afforded that opportunity here. And it strikes me that there are ways we can afford them that opportunity, and we can subsidize them doing an apprenticeship as a plumber or doing drywall or in construction or something, because I've seen this happen in other countries, in England primarily, and I've seen it work. And then these guys go on to make good money and they pay their taxes and they become really productive members of society, all because of a government program, which for some ungodly reason conservatives in this country are opposed to.
No, I don't like the optional either. The only obligation for the corporation should be to pay fair pay for fair work, and that's the model that we've worked with for a long time. And I think it's a model that is successful when kept in check. And I don't want to hold an employer to any more than that. If they want to pay for college or if they want to pay for higher learning or something like that, that's fine. But if the state wants to move into a low income area where people don't usually go to college and say, start supporting the high school and maybe open up at least a place where you can get your associate's degree or some sort of technical skill in that area. That's fine. But I'm not going to put it on an employer to do.
Well, I'm just saying, that that's one potential, source of revenue is all. Instead of a minimum wage increase, say, that extra money comes to us and we run I'll call it a youth training scheme, just like they do in England, for lack of a better term. I don't know. It's
kind of like
so you think minimum wage increase, and then the employee chooses what they want to do with the money. If part of that is education, then so be it.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's fair enough. And that, I guess, is Bernie's idea. That's his plan too, right?
That's correct.
But he also has, now I'll give you, you're on the phone and you are a Bernie supporter, and I don't see much about Bernie in the news. So what else does Bernie have planned for education?
Well, Bernie, one of the biggest, not selling points, but one of the biggest platforms that he runs on is free college. And that's something that many developed nations who rank higher in higher education, they have better universities. Some better universities. Countries already do that. Germany, for instance, is a very notable example of that. It's possible. It's just crazy to see colleges where their expenses go to in terms of athletics, in terms of paying tenured professors as much as some of them get paid. What they charge for housing, it's prohibitive, and the answer to that is making it free.
I agree, but you are only talking about public colleges, right? State.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
That's what
that's right.
Because private colleges, they can do whatever they want, and those people are always going to have a market. But the cost of public education is through the roof. It's insane. Yeah. Now, that raises the question, though, about entry standards, because, pardon me, Danielle's right. Colleges can't take everybody. What do you do then?
What do you mean? What do you do then? Oh, when it's free?
Yeah, so you're going to have a glut of students, and then they're either going to base it on high school performance, or they're going to apply some other measure. I'm sure there will be some kind of minority requirement attached to it, things like that. How do you deal with, in a free system, how did Germany deal with it, for example?
Well, Germany have a very efficient state-run high school. It's illegal to homeschool your children in Germany, and so most applicants who apply get in. It also depends on what you want to do after college. For instance, if I'm applying to a physics program, or if I apply and I say, I want to major in physics, I'm going to be up against a more competitive pool of people. Whereas if I apply to a trade school, or if I say, I want to teach history or something like that, it's not so competitive. And that's kind of a natural filter system to make sure that these areas don't get overpopulated with too many people. So yeah, it'd be a competitive based thing.
And it would be really competitive because, we have enough high schools to deal with every student, but we don't have anywhere near enough colleges to deal with every student.
No, we don't. We also have to look at, that it's important to note that the retention rates for certain minority groups, most notably African Americans, is pretty bad. It's horrible, in fact. We can bring those up. We can get people in college. We can get them out educated, and then you're working with a more efficient, educated American populace. Mm-hmm. That's always a good thing.
Well, we got to start at the high school level, obviously, and I know you have opinions on that. We're coming up on a break. I don't know if you want to hold on through the break and talk about that.
I actually have to get to work.
Okay, you're still at work?
No. I've got a remote login.
Oh, okay. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah. It was great talking to you both.
We always like your opinions.
I do too.
Brilliant. All right, man. Well, thank you very
All right.
much.
Thanks.
See you, man.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
There goes Steven. You know, I don't know. I think everything starts at the education level. And again, while I support the minimum wage, I think if we're going to have a government mandated program, I personally think it should be something that benefits the employee long term. I happen to believe education is more of a benefit to them for, you know, let's say for 4 years. I think that's more of a benefit to them. And then after 4 years, effectively the world is theirs. I don't know.
But you can't force it on them. You got to have the buy-in.
Yeah.
So
you're right. You're right.
You know.
Oh well. But anyway, another real point I want to make to anybody, you know, I've heard a lot of people call into the morning show and talk to the morning show and really oppose a minimum wage. But just remember, a $15 minimum wage puts upward pressure on middle income earners. And, you know, when you say I'll quit and go flip burgers, you probably won't, because you'll find your job worth a lot more money. Anyway, we are going to take a quick break and then we'll be back. All right, we're on a break.
To your point of automation, that if the minimum wage goes up too much, that a lot of sort of lower level jobs are going to be automated.
Mm-hmm.
Tipped servers here are already minimum wage.
Less than minimum wage.
Do what?
The tip servers earn less than minimum wage. They earn like $3 an hour.
Not here. Here
okay.
in Minnesota, they earn legit minimum wage.
Actually, this is the only episode you can share with your family because
There it goes.
So, a good friend of ours is an owner manager of a Outback Steakhouse, and he was talking about how if minimum wage keeps going up, that they're going to have to go to a model where more of what servers do is automated. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, a tablet on the table where you put in your order for your apps and your drinks when you first sit down, instead of somebody greeting you at the table.
Yep.
You know, because he's paying somebody $10 an hour to do that. So instead of that, you sit down, you put in your app and your drink order, and then a server comes and takes your actual order. You know, drops off your drinks and your apps and then takes your order.
Yeah, I like that personally, because I think that's more convenient for the customer. But there is always an employee that has to pay for things like that. Some places, some restaurants, one in particular, and I don't remember where it was, but I went on and yelled at them on Yelp because their city upped their minimum wage to $10 an hour. And this restaurant started putting a surcharge on their receipts. And it was like, I don't know, it was $1 or $2. And it was their minimum wage tax. They had it itemized.
No.
Yeah, they had itemized it out, and they were trying to make some kind of point, right? Oh yeah, we're passing this on to you because they passed it and they're making us pay people this money. Well, you know what? All you're telling me is that you're too fucking cheap to pay them the fucking money. And it pissed me off. It really annoyed me. You know, it was this successful established restaurant that the owners are, you know, they're driving around in their goddamn brand new Mercedes and living in their, you know, big old McMansion, and they're bitching about having to pay a couple of extra bucks to their employees. It pissed me off. You passed it on to us. Great. We'll pay it.
Right.
We will pay it. And if McDonald's up their prices, guess what? We are going to pay it. It's as simple as that, because people love their McDonald's. They're going to do it. And we'll all have more money anyway, because it's going to put upward pressure on other people's wages. But yeah, they did this. They thought they were making some kind of, conservative point or some bullshit, and all it did was piss me off, and it annoyed a lot of conservatives that I know as well, because it was petty, it was weak and underhanded, and it was indicative of what the conservative movement has become in this country, and it sickens me with some of the people that call themselves conservatives here. Absolutely sicken me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me. Sorry. There's my rant for the day. And it was during a break. Damn it.
Dang it. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, well. All right. So that's that story done. Boom. Delete. It all starts at the high school level, though. I mean, everything, like you say, some kids may not want to go on to college, and I suppose they may not, but don't you think if we had a much better high school system that more kids would want to go on to college?
In my education and my research, I learned that, and not like my own, I mean, like research shows that the strongest indicator of a person's attending and completing college is if a parent or another adult stakeholder in their lives went to college.
Okay.
So, if your parents went to college, if somebody that you look up to and respect or see as successful went to and completed college, you're more likely to do the same.
Right.
So
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you have that driving influence behind you.
Right. And yeah, you see that as what successful people do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And I agree with you. Not everybody wants to go or needs to go to college. I know guys in construction that make, a ton of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And their work life or their work span may be shorter because of the physical labor involved in it, but they have the potential to make an awful lot of money and have a good retirement.
Right.
So this is why I think an apprenticeship scheme, an apprenticeship program like the youth training scheme in England, I think it's a good idea. I really do, because I don't know. Eventually we're going to run out of tradesmen, right? Because
well,
these kids are doctors and lawyers. Go ahead.
Vocational schools. When I taught in Gwinnett County, kids that were not on like the college track could go into this vocational technical track and go to while they were in high school, go to a 1 or 2 year program and learn trades like plumbing or construction or those kinds of things, and come out of high school with a skill and with the ability to earn a living wage, and they could go on to become apprentices or whatever it was in that trade, and be on track to make a good living.
And they should, because the last plumber I called was $200 for 10 minutes work.
Yeah. I mean, and I've kept up with some of these kids who would not have made it in college, and they're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Well, but that's Gwinnett County. That's a wealthy school system, and they have the ability to offer these programs. When we talk about inner city schools, those things don't exist.
Right. Unfortunately. Forsyth County didn't have it. Forsyth, where you would think would have, because there are a lot of those, I can't even think of a nice way to say, like hands-on kind of labor kind of people.
Family.
That would benefit from that, who had no interest in going to college, and we had no resources for them. Mm-hmm. And it was really frustrating having come from a system where that was an option, going into a system where there was just no option like that, because we were supposed to funnel them all into some kind of college track that was just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing, while you're puffing and can't interrupt me, that we're supposed to pretend like everybody is college material, and they're just not, and that's okay.
You're damn right, it's okay. Absolutely. you know, I'm going to bring this back to the conservative values that I see in America these days. Anybody that isn't college material is almost frowned upon as not good enough for society. And in my, you know, to me, that's not the case. An electrician, a plumber, a farrier, you know, whatever your chosen path is valuable in society to somebody, right? And these kids have no. We're losing so many valuable, skilled professional workers because we won't invest the money in programs to train them. We don't invest the money in, say, apprenticeship schemes. We tax the shit out of our companies so that they can't have apprenticeship schemes anymore. And it's like the conservatives in this country are happy about that. Oh yeah, goddamn right. We don't have to spend money on these ne'er-do-wells, so to speak. And it annoys the piss out of me because that's not conservative values. My values are, if somebody wants to learn, they should be afforded the opportunity to learn because it will pay us back in droves in the future. You have a healthy tax-paying base. That means lower taxes for everybody. But conservatives in this country see every goddamn program as a government handout, and it infuriates me. It really fucking annoys me. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. You know, I think people see like blue collar as less than, like it's marginalized. Like if you're not white collar, if you're not marginalized, if you're not, you know, at least a 4-year college graduate, then you're not good enough. Then you're, less than in some way. Then you're, you know, a grubby worker.
Yeah, but you soon learn the value when you need an electrician, right?
Right.
You need because you know, God forbid the security system goes down in your mansion and you get burgled because we don't have enough electricians on hand to get somebody out to your house to fix the damn thing.
Right. Well, I mean, just the sort of bizarreness of not valuing the person that makes stuff, but wanting everything handmade. Mm-hmm. Like, how does that even work? You know, like not valuing the education and skills of a carpenter, but wanting handmade furniture and like hand-tooled woodwork.
Yep.
How does that even make sense?
It makes no sense to me. I'm going to go be annoyed in the restroom, and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. I'm going to send Alex a random text message while he's peeing. See if I can make his phone talk to him.
Holiday spirit, this one. It's
yes.
A wonderful, warm episode. And there's not a whole lot of filth or swearing to this son of a bitch, except for the part where I just said son of a bitch. Hit the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital at 10 Minutes Podcast.
Probably bad.
Still haven't done your Christmas shopping. It's not too late. You can gift a donation in someone's name. And this is a wonderful organization, the St. Jude Children's Research
Hospital. I bet he's peeing fast.
Mother. There's not a whole lot I can do to drum roll this one. It's one of my absolute favorites, and it does feature my cute little Italian mom. She grew up in Italy during World War II, as did my father. They're both from Napoli, and it really does make me happy to be able to share this with you. And it is one that you can, one of the only ones you can.
I'm going to pretend I didn't do that.
It's one of my favorite things to hear my mom talk about Christmas in her youth, and I hope that you are with your family this holiday season. And if you're not fortunate enough to be around your loved ones, I hope that you are in touch with them.
Oh, God.
Okay, enough mushy stuff.
There's Will Sasso again.
Can't you make that stop? What is that?
I get it. Whenever I receive a link, it starts playing. So I put it onto a podcast, which is public domain, so that
Oh, at least we don't get in trouble for it.
Yeah, so that YouTube don't flag me for some kind of copyright violation. I believe that link is something I wanted to.
Yeah, I just sent it to you. I did that on purpose.
I wanted to talk about because I bitched on Twitter who do you think I bitched at today about this?
T-Mobile.
I did not. I bitched at the other side.
Oh,
And
YouTube?
Well, yeah, when we go back live, which will be now. All right, we're back. And Danielle just sent me a link. So this is, and I was reading about this earlier, and I'll ask you the question again, Dani. Well, now you know the answer, so it's kind of stupid to ask you. But YouTube, so T-Mobile offer binge on. And what this allows you to do is stream video from certain sources, and it will not count against your data plan. Netflix is one, Hulu is another, HBO is one, and there's I think there's like a dozen sources right now. And if you have a limited data plan, you can now stream unlimited video. Also, the reason I like it is because I have 5 gigabytes of hotspot tethering, and it does not count towards hotspot tethering. One glaring omission for me was YouTube. It's not part of binge on. And because it's not part of binge on, YouTube are, I guess, having a bit of a whine about it and complaining that, okay, I have to go back. Also, another part of binge on is that streaming services that are not included in the free data, T-Mobile are optimizing the video so that you can stream more video for the same amount of data. And they say up to 3 times more. So theoretically, even though T-Mobile is not included, even though YouTube isn't included, I should be able to stream 3 times more YouTube than I used to be able to because T-Mobile are optimizing the video. While YouTube are taking offense to this, and I read this story today and I got a bit vocal on Twitter, and I asked you right before we came back from the break, which side do you think I came down on? Do you think I'm bitching at T-Mobile for compressing data, or do you think I'm bitching at the other people for being upset about it?
And I thought you were bitching at T-Mobile.
Right. However, I'm not. I was bitching at Google and YouTube because Google own YouTube. And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. We live in a country where our data plans are limited, and video is becoming one of the most prevalent types of streaming media that we interact with. It's on Facebook, it's everywhere, and most videos that you watch on Facebook link you to YouTube. You end up streaming it. It eats through your data plan.
Let's part, of course, with this episode. Christmas.
God damn it, Will Sasso. Sorry, he just keeps breaking in. Little fucker won't stop. So here's my problem with it. YouTube in their app do not provide me the option when I'm on cellular data to choose the quality of video I wish to stream. Because if I had my choice, I would stream a lower quality so that I could stream more video without hitting my data cap.
Obviously.
Yeah. Now, in my case, it's just my hotspot tethering because I have unlimited on my phone, but I'm limited when I tether my iPad. Well, I'm glad that T-Mobile is optimizing their video because now I can stream 3 times as much before I hit my cap. And YouTube don't give me that option. So that's what I said to them. I on YouTube today, I said, listen, I side with T-Mobile. I'm glad they're optimizing your video because you do not give me the choice. And the funny thing is, when I'm on Wi-Fi, the YouTube app does give me the choice. If I'm on Wi-Fi, I can switch it from high definition to, as low as 240 kilobits per second. 240K. But when I'm on cellular, YouTube determine the bit rate that I'm going to stream at. And it's way too high because in a lot of cases, it doesn't even keep up with my data speed. And my data speed is fast. So it's coming through at a much higher bit rate, a much higher definition than I ever need it to come through. And YouTube don't give me the option to change it. Well, thank you, T-Mobile. Thank you for optimizing every bit of streaming video that comes to my phone over cellular. You're the one company that's doing something right and isn't just trying to go after me for overages. And I think that's what it boils down to. AT&T, they want you to go over. They want to charge you $10 or $20 per gigabyte extra over and above your data plan. T-Mobile don't want to do that, so they've made a decision. And by the way, it's opt-in on, no, it's not opt-in, it's opt-out. It's turned on by default on your T-Mobile account. You can switch it off, but don't. Why would you switch it off? You can stream 3 times as much video for free. It makes no sense. So YouTube are bitching about it. Well, you know what? All YouTube have to do is bring their service up to the technical standards required for it to be included under T-Mobile's binge on plan, and then be completely free to everybody on T-Mobile when they stream it. But for some reason, they don't want to do that. They want to bitch at T-Mobile for what they call throttling their video. And it's not throttling, it's optimizing. It's bringing the video quality down to a point where it looks perfect on a small screen, right? You wouldn't know the difference between the quality T-Mobile are optimizing it to and the full high def stream you would normally get. And YouTube are all up in arms and bitching about it. Well, you know what? Fuck you, Google. Fuck you, YouTube. If you do the right thing for your customers, maybe I'll change my mind. If you give me the option to optimize the stream for myself, you know, maybe I'll take your side. But right now I don't. I take T-Mobile's side, and screw YouTube. So there you go. Sorry about that.
That being said,
go on.
Why am I hearing myself?
Italian Mother, and originally aired December 23rd, 2014. Here it is.
There, another message comes through. Also, the FCC, because of this, well, not just because of this, I think a couple of other people have complained. Because of this, now the FCC are saying they want to talk to T-Mobile about their binge on program. After saying initially when it first launched, this is a great idea. We think it's good for the consumer. Now, are the FCC now going to change their stance and suddenly tell T-Mobile you're being anti-competitive? I don't see how they can, because it's a user option. I can go to my T-Mobile settings and turn this off if I choose to, but I would be a fool to turn it off. So my next letter will be to the FCC, and I'll be explaining to the FCC why T-Mobile is doing the right thing by me, and that the likes of Google and YouTube are trying to screw me on my data plan by forcing me to watch some crappy video in high definition that I don't ever want to see. And who wants to watch Flossie in high def?
I mean, I wouldn't mind a little high def Flossie. I'm not gonna lie.
I guess Floss was a bad example.
That's a bad example.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to watch fucking FPS Russia in high def when I can watch it in 480 and it looks exactly the same, and I can save myself some money? I don't know. Screw you. I think Google have so much damn money that they now think every consumer has enough money to blow on a expensive data plan, and they start bitching about things like this instead of getting behind it and saying, you know what, this is good for the consumer, so we're going to support it, and we're going to petition the FCC and tell the FCC we believe in this. We think this is what everybody should be doing. And obviously it should be optional to the consumer. If you choose to turn it off, turn it off. But if you have any sense, you'll leave it turned on. I don't know why considering some of the god-awful shitty content that's on YouTube, I don't know why they would have a problem with this.
Now
I
you
don't
watch
get it.
YouTube all the time. You're just fired up.
I am fired up, but I watch Netflix all the time, and now I can watch Netflix and it doesn't cost me any data. And that's T-Mobile covering that cost, right? I can watch HBO and T-Mobile covers that cost for me or for any of their customers. That's not a bad thing. YouTube need to get on board or get the fuck on as far as I'm concerned, because if they start trying to mess this up for me, I'm going to go after fucking YouTube. Now that doesn't mean anything. I'm one guy on Twitter who's pissed off, but if I get enough people on Twitter pissed off, it's going to send a message to them. And maybe that's what we all have to do. Everybody get on Twitter, tweet at YouTube, at Google, and tell them T-Mobile are doing the right thing, and you idiots need to get behind it. Google really annoy me at times, Danielle.
Sounds like they got you. Well, and you're not wrong. I mean, I think that
In its entire 10-minute format.
Oh, come on, Will.
So it's longer.
For
I
the
think-
love of God.
either they think they're right about this ridiculousness, or they think that people are just going to be like, oh, of course we want the best quality video, and not realize that streaming it at a lower, bandwidth or whatever is really not affecting the quality of their flossy.
Well, maybe somebody at Google needs to sign on to T-Mobile and realize that the quality is not being affected, and that this actually is a benefit to the consumer, and it's a benefit that a cellular provider would never ever dream of providing until T-Mobile came along.
Right. Do you think the others are going to have to start doing it now to keep up with T-Mobile?
Well, when you consider that oh shit, I don't know what I've done here. When you consider that a lot of things that T-Mobile have implemented, for example, they were the first to do this jump plan with their cell phones, where you're not necessarily in a contract with your phone. You lease your phone and then you can swap it out up to 3 times a year. And every major provider has copied them and moved into that kind of program. And they're all eliminating their cell phone contracts in following T-Mobile's lead. I think you are also now T-Mobile offer their unlimited music streaming. I think you are going to find a number of, I think every company ultimately is going to have to follow suit, and they're gonna offer unlimited music streaming and video. I think it's inevitable they're going to follow suit. Right now, the competition appears to be upping the limits on their data plans. I think AT&T now give you 10 gigs instead of 5, for example. Verizon, I believe, have upped theirs to 8 instead of 4. And the more customers T-Mobile take away, I think the more you're going to see those limits increased. And that's just pressure of a competitive market. And T-Mobile have been taking away, apparently, a lot of customers. So, yeah, I think you're going to see other providers have to follow suit. I don't think they have any choice.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, Verizon this week, Verizon took the next step closer to T-Mobile. They are now offering $650 to anybody that switches to their service. So they will cover $650 of your cost to switch to their service. So if you have a phone that needs to be paid off or an early termination fee that needs to be paid, they will cover that for you to get you on their network. There are very, very few reasons I would ever tell anybody to switch to Verizon, because Verizon are remarkably expensive. However, if 100% coverage is absolutely important to you everywhere in the country, then Verizon's your only choice. But that's not the case for 99.9% of consumers. Most of them spend the majority of their time in their home area, and pretty much any carrier will service them well. I've never really had an issue with T-Mobile. I've been to a couple of places where service has been non-existent, but I just log on to Wi-Fi and ended up having full service anyway because T-Mobile do that Wi-Fi calling and text messaging over Wi-Fi and all that crap. So as long as I have Wi-Fi, I'm good. Yeah, they are following suit. They don't really have a choice but to follow suit. And I don't know that they will ultimately go to unlimited data. I'm pretty certain AT&T will never go back to unlimited data. Randall Stevenson said that was the worst mistake he ever made, was offering unlimited data when the first iPhone came out. So I think they are always going to keep people in data capped plans. But I think they're going to have to start adding services that do not count towards those caps, i.e. audio and video, just like T-Mobile are. In order to compete, I think they have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I guess we can sit here and speculate all we want, but
Yep.
we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
Just like the rest of the folks.
Well, I noticed your boys LG have updated your Bluetooth headphones.
Yes. Well, those aren't actually like on the market yet.
No, they're coming out soon.
Yeah, it's supposed to be announced at the.
Did you notice the colors?
Yeah, I did.
The 3 colors iPhones are available in?
I mean, I don't live my life by iPhone, so I didn't know that. But check out that pink.
Yeah, I saw. Well, it's not pink; it's rose gold.
Okay, whatever. Did you see the other link that I sent you that people might actually be interested in?
Which one?
Oh, did it not go? The class action lawsuit. Do you know? I'm sure you know about that. Accusing Apple of what do they call it? Planned obsolescence. That people are, when they upgrade or update their software on their iPhone 4S's, it's slowing them down so much the phones essentially don't work anymore. So then they have to go buy a new phone. And people are saying that that this was.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I've heard this. I think this happens every time Apple releases a major update of their operating system. It's an unwinnable lawsuit. The fact is, the technology or the features, I should say, or technology in the back end of a newer operating system obviously stress older hardware. The same goes for your laptop or your Windows machine or your Mac, right? Because a newer operating system comes out, generally they up the requirements that say, well, you need to have this, this, and this to run this thing. Well, Apple at least try to support phones going back. A 4S is 4 years old, so at least they're trying to keep people with a 4-year-old phone happy. How many Android devices do you think have ever received an update when they're 4 years old?
Well, if it doesn't work on it, can you really call it an update? I mean, that's really kind of more of a bricking.
But the consumer doesn't have to apply it.
But I think that's the point of the article, is that people don't know when they apply the update that it's going to make their phone essentially obsolete.
Of course they do. As right there in the description, when they tell you, when Apple pushes out an update, it brings up on screen a list of all the features, a list of the supported devices, and they even go as far as to tell you on older devices you may see some performance degradation.
The plaintiffs argued that Apple failed to properly warn iPhone 4S users that the update would significantly interfere with the performance of their phones. I'm just reading what the lawsuit says.
I believe they're wrong. I think it's an unwinnable lawsuit. It's a bunch of class action scumbag lawyers looking for money.
But if it's going to essentially brick their phones, why is the update push? Does the update push to their phone, first of all?
It doesn't brick their phones.
I said push to their phone.
No, it's not pushed to their phone. It sends you a notification telling you an update is available, which you can either dismiss or you can install the update. It's not forced on anybody.
Okay.
And when the next update comes out and the iPhone 4S is no longer supported, these people will then be bitching, well, why is my phone not supported?
Right.
It's infuriating. It's annoying because you can't win for losing. What it is a bunch of lawyers that see deep pockets at Apple, and they're going after some of that money. Everybody knows that a 4-year-old phone is going to be slow. It's slow regardless. Go pick up a 4S running, I don't care if it's running iOS 5. Go pick it up and try doing something on it, and compare it to your modern today's cell phone, and you'll say to yourself, oh my God, why would I ever use this? Well,
and I think anybody with a 4S, if they asked somebody that knew anything about phones or about technology, should I update the software on this phone? You would at least say, let me look that up.
Well, yeah, and I would say no, absolutely not, because
right.
Even a phone a year old can see degradation
right.
in performance with a software that was written for a phone 1 year newer, right? It's written for a phone with a faster processor, faster graphics, and developers develop for those newer phones, and so everything you do on your older phone slows down.
Yeah, this exact thing actually happened to my boss. He went, I don't know what he was doing, but updated the software on his old iPhone, which was just this old. It was probably the 4S actually, and which I knew nothing about it. He just came in, because I'm only in the office like one day a week or something, and he came in just raising hell about how he had to get a new phone and da da da. And I was like, what? Why? What happened? And he said exactly that he had updated the software and it slowed his old phone down so much that he just couldn't do anything. And I was like, well, why didn't you just downgrade back to whatever the old software you were running was? He said, well, you can't do that. I said, okay, boss.
And I think the dollar value of this lawsuit shows what the intention is. It's $5 million.
Right.
$5 million that he and other iPhone 4S users became unable to use their devices after upgrading. But then he says he goes from unable to significantly slowed down, and then he goes to interfered with the normal usage of the device. Which is it? Are you unable to use it? Did it interfere with the normal usage of your device? I mean, pick a story and stick to it, idiots. So they were either forced to live with a slow and buggy device. So no longer is it unable to be used. It's now slow and buggy that disrupts everyday life, in quotes, or shell out hundreds of dollars for a new phone. Go fuck yourselves. That's my answer to them. Sorry.
I mean, I think all of those statements are probably true. I think slow and buggy could very easily be to the point that it was unusable.
My phone,
but it's a 4-year-old phone.
Yeah, mine's slow and buggy, and mine's a year old.
And yours just yells out for no reason.
And yeah, it starts playing Will Sasso for no reason. Apparently, whenever I get a message, Will Sasso's podcast kicks off.
That's part of the fun of it.
All right, well, we're at the end of this, Dan.
Oh, did we make it through?
Yeah, we did.
All right, then.
God.
Good job.
Hopefully, I hope there's more news next week.
There's got to be more news next week.
There's got to be. We know that CES kicks off on the 6th. So hopefully a bunch of new stuff will come out that we'll be able to talk about. And let's pray. I'll be on the morning show tomorrow. I think that kicks off at 7:30. Then what is tomorrow? Wednesday, I'll be on The World According to Mike tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mike. There may be a morning show Thursday. It's New Year's Eve. I think Scott's deciding whether he does that or not. So I guess listen in tomorrow and find out. And I think that'll be it for Just for Fun for the week. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully tomorrow morning I have more to talk about, and tomorrow night I'll probably have nothing to talk about with Michael. We'll see.
There's no need to talk when Mike's around, though.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to butt in on the video tomorrow, you're more than welcome, by the way. But that's entirely up to you.
Will it be live, though?
Yeah, we'll be going out live. I'll be broadcasting the same way, and I'll post a link for you. If you decide you want to jump in, you can.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I got tomorrow. We'll see. I'll text you for sure.
Yeah, I'll post it either way. Do whatever you want.
All right, cool.
Dan, thank you.
All right, buddy. See ya. Tech Talk North out.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey. Okay. I thought you were going to press your little hang up button there for a minute.
Oh.
Sorry.
All right.
My bad. No, stay
Wait.
on. Stay on.
Okay.
I'll talk to you after the show. Guys,
All right, cool.
Thank you for listening. I'm glad this all worked out with the new setup technology-wise. Those things. And if you jump onto YouTube and watch the replay, you'll see me and Danielle switching back and forth as we talk. That's one of the miracles of Google Hangouts. But I do appreciate you listening. Tune in next week. Hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about, and catch us tomorrow morning and tomorrow night. Bye. There we go. Now, for some reason, I have one more Tech Talk segment lined up, and I don't know why.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. Okay, and now it will pick up and go on from there. All right, Dan. I'm going to... Scott's excited about something. I'm not entirely sure. I think tomorrow morning, I guess.
Fun.
About tomorrow. All right, so say goodnight. Scott's watching, so goodnight, Scott.
Night, Scott.
And other viewers. There are a couple of other people watching. Thank you for sitting through this one. It was a disaster. Danny, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Where's my end button? There it is.